we've made it to the end, just about. I want to thank you all for spending your precious time with us here in Las Vegas, another weekend, sharing ideas, sharing your ideas, and listening to new ideas about the use of intraoperative therapy in the treatment of breast cancer, as well as its other emerging applications. If you were here at the beginning of the meeting, you probably saw a video or two of a couple of our board members displaying their expertise at throwing a baseball. I say expertise or lack of expertise, Dr. Dr. Small. But I actually want to share my passion with some round things as well, which is my passion for tennis. Just a couple of victories shown here and one just last month. So when I'm not thinking about Target, I'm thinking about some other round balls, and usually it's tennis. But enough about me. What this is really about is you and what we're here to do and what has been accomplished over this weekend. And in that regard, I want to express my appreciation for the efforts over the past year, and especially for this past weekend, to Dr. Rosen and Dr. Yu for their work to manage this effort and to conduct this meeting. They've done a terrific job, and I'd like you all to give them a round of applause. Thank you. Thank you. We also want to credit the board of directors. Not everyone could be here, but they certainly put in the time and effort over the past year to see this meeting through, and I want to acknowledge them as well in image. We also are thankful for the leadership of our staff. You've met Jeff, and you've certainly met Zadina as you've come in for, look, and she's moving right in front of your eyes. She's always busy. But you know, they do the work of the society day in and day out around the year, and so we couldn't do it without them, as you well know. It's just like your office staff. They keep you going, and they keep all the ducks in a row and make sure that the ideas have follow through. So we thank them for their work over the course of the year and for their work to come in the next year. Of course, none of this would have been possible without the support of our sponsors and exhibitors. The platinum sponsor, of course, is Zeiss, and of course you've spent time with Sienna and Dune, Focal, Invitae, Invuity, Lumicell, Leica, Prelude, and CubeTech. You know, we're using a slightly different motto for this course. We'll continue for as long as we can for this meeting, which is to have it subsidized as much as possible. We know there are many meetings of the year, and obviously reimbursements are coming down, and so we don't want the meeting to be a financial burden to physicians. So in as much as we can, we'll try to subsidize the meeting going forward, but we credit the supporters for making that possible. So thanks for spending time with them over the last couple of years, a couple of days. Of course, they're still out there, so if you have time to learn about the things you heard about in the technology session, please speak to the vendors about it. But again, we thank them, and of course our platinum sponsor, Zeiss, for making this meeting possible and for making it more economical for all of us as well. The mission of the Society of the Target Collaborative Group is to improve patient care through education, patient advocacy, mentorship, and collaborative research, and all of these things are very important. We're still a fledgling society. There are many things that we need to do, but I'm pretty optimistic about our ability to accomplish these things with your participation. As you've heard, there will be some committee meetings to follow: advocacy, coding and reimbursement, research. We can only accomplish these things with your assistance, so if you have time, please spend time in the committee meetings, which will be held across the hall in the Raphael rooms. Among the things that we have been able to accomplish is that we're now successful at completing our second annual meeting, and we're planning our next meeting in the early part of next year, likely in January or February. We have committed to sending out announcements about that by the end of June once we've secured contracts at the hotel. So we're leaving Las Vegas, heading to the East Coast for those of you who want to spend your weekend in a warm place like Florida as opposed to Las Vegas this weekend. But that's what you should look forward to, and we'll be sending announcements out about that in the coming month or two. One of the major initiatives of society is to develop a quality collaborative. This is an idea that preceded the formation of the Target Collaborative Group and has been advanced through each of the meetings. And I'm pleased to announce that we have secured funding to launch a registry This will be sort of a follow-on registry, which will replace the Target US registry once it closes, and also meet the needs of many individuals who need a registry in order to continue to offer Target. But even more than that, what we hope to do is advance from where we are currently to newer places and newer applications in the use of Target, to develop more data regarding use of Target for DCS, for example, or infiltrating lobular carcinoma, or treatment of patients presenting with recurrent disease. We can do this collaboratively through the Quality Collaborative, and I hope that you all will participate. We also want to use it to establish best practices, to learn from each other, to raise the bar, to examine the impact of supportive technologies and devices and the outcome of Target. You've heard about some of those just within the past hour. And of course, expand it to look at sites beyond the breast. This is a major effort, but we've gotten the funding to get it off the ground. The research committee is in charge of seeing this through under the supervision and guidance of Dr. Valente. I think probably within the next 6 months, we'll have be able to launch a model that we can test before making it available. By the next meeting, you should have a Quality Collaborative that's available to you. That's the board's commitment to try to see it through. This is our first year that we're offering a simulation lab. We were able to secure funding to invite and pay for the expenses for breast and surgical fellows, as well as radiation oncology residents, to spend an afternoon learning about Target. This year we're focusing only on breast, but if we're able to do this again next year, we hope to look at other sites, brain and spine applications. We're using the simulation lab this year, but again, if we're successful, we may actually have cadavers next year, so it's a much more realistic phenomenon. But I hope that in the next year, when you think about how your residents or fellows will spend their January or February, think about committing some time for them to come to the lab. And we'll send out information about that as soon as we've made commitments for the time and date of the next meeting. At the present time, we're not a membership-based organization, but we hope to be someday, and we're going to work on that effort to make that possible, perhaps by the next year, if not the next. One of the ideas to create value for membership is to have membership be a requirement for participating in the Quality Collaborative once it's available. We also have membership as a mechanism for securing maybe access to travel stipends or discounted registration. And of course, there'll be other benefits as well. So we'll have a membership committee that'll kind of enumerate the benefits of membership, but I think that's something that you should look forward to and you'll learn more about it in the next year. We also are able to obtain some funds, not a lot, but to start, to promote the sort of the Appleseed, Johnny Appleseed effect of Target. Of course, we're talking about Target this weekend here, but we really would like to see it talked about more and more at other meetings. Obviously, that's happening already, but in order to facilitate that, we were able to secure some funds that would be available to members of the society who want to go to Astro meeting or ABS meeting or some other meeting, but needs a little assistance financially. So we can support with travel accommodations and registration through a sort of a competitive selection process, but to enable and to facilitate and spread the word about Target, we're trying our best to make sure that the financial challenges aren't the ones that are preventing you from spreading the word. Now, the thing you've been waiting for, that you got the teaser about from Dr. Yu, is the fact that there's now a CPT code for surgeons. Many of us, many in the room and people that aren't in the room, have spent a good part of the last 10 years trying to secure CPT codes in order to make Target available. First, we had to focus on getting codes for the hospital, then of course the radiation oncologists. And now, finally, after several years of effort, we were able to secure a code for surgeons. This code went into effect January 1st of this year, so if you're not using it, you're leaving money on the table. The code is 19294 for preparation of tumor cavity with placement of radiation therapy applicator. We credit this code to the support of the American Society of Breast Surgeons, which sponsored the code, and also to the individual efforts of Sheldon Philman, a board member of TCG, Janie Grumley, and Fred Durbus, all surgeons, but surgeons using different applications that work collaboratively to get a code approved for surgeons. So this is now in effect. I'm told that the average reimbursement is about $165. Please put it to use. Of course, you've heard the warning, or at least a suggestion about feedback. You know, we want to do this better, and we want to learn. It's my philosophy about breast surgery and medicine in general is that my goal is not necessarily to practice a standard of care, which is to do the thing I've always done, but to learn how we can always raise the bar and do things better. And that's what we rely upon you to do, provide us feedback, positive and negative, so we can continue the things that are working well and change the things that aren't, so that we can have a better meeting in years to come. On that note, I'd like to say thank you all again for attending, and please remain if you're a fellow. This is where the simulation lab will be taking place, and across the hall there will be the committee meetings. Thank you very much.